Good morning, folks and foodies. So, this story is really, something that, kind of derailed me, in life. Not that at the time I was going anywhere great, fast, but, I mean, it certainly, led to me atrophying even more than I already was at the time, because I was pretty self-destructive at the time, being a homeless dude in his early 20s. So, to give you a backdrop of what was going on at the time, I was homeless. I was drinking a lot. And here's the thing. Alcohol doesn't agree with me very well. That's why I don't drink very much these days. I just, for one, it makes me feel ill. For two, I can't sleep if I drink. It's like, it's a weird thing. My aunt has the same issue, so it must be hereditary. And, yeah, I just think there are more effective ways of feeling pleasurable in social settings without having to pay for it the next day. And actually, for me, I find I pay for it while I'm drinking. I'm also one of those people who becomes a bit of an asshole if I've had too much to drink. I think everyone, though, has a threshold for assholery when it comes to drinking too much alcohol. Now, I was drinking mostly because at the time, it's hard to sleep on the streets, especially during the winter. And alcohol, because, you can easily shoplift alcohol. And, I would have done that with drugs if drugs were legal in the same vein as alcohol. But, I wasn't going to steal from a drug dealer and get shanked. I got pinched and got pulled through a security room. It wasn't a big deal to me at the time. And no, I do not condone shoplifting. Unless it's from a corporate store. Again, no, I'm just saying I don't condone it, but I mean, I don't have any pity for corporations, especially ones like Walmart that penalize everyone they catch. It's a policy of theirs. And I just don't feel bad for corporations who, someone steals food from because they're homeless and they need to eat. Or they're homeless and alcoholics and they need to drink. I don't feel particularly bad for the corporation, but again, don't condone it. Now, not long after I became homeless, I was in touch with this girl who I had known for many, many, many years. I thought she was pretty cool. She's a girl that had French-Canadian parents, and her parents were as crazy as she was. But here's the thing. I knew she had bipolar. I did not know it was as bad as it was. And, I mean, for the most part, like for the 8 months we were dating, it wasn't that bad. Like, she would occasionally kind of space out, like, say weird shit, and act a little bit manic, but it was never that bad. So we had a ritual of, I would go get my Suboxone, and she would get her Abilify every day from the same pharmacy. So yeah, she was taking her medication, from what I could tell. Mind you, there was a bit of a precursor to this whole incident, because, I bought her a can of dog spray for, self-defense purposes. She lived in an area that was, nice for the most part, but it was close to a sketchy part of town, so I didn't want, her to get robbed or worse. And I made it like, you know, like I had a can of bear mace with me at all times. That was just like a part of all the things I would leave the shelter with, or, you know, be on the streets with them. So the first day I gave it to her, she starts acting like very like she's acting like someone on cocaine, which is mania for you. You know, someone who's manic is almost indiscernible from someone who is on like a psychosis-inducing amount of cocaine. And so she's just kind of like laughing at me and mocking me and making fun of me. And I believe it, like I was trying to do something special for her that day. I found a tent and I stole a bunch of food and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do something special. I can't remember what the occasion was, but in any case, she's just being really mean. And so like I just walking down the street and she's laughing at me, and I just step in front of her and I put my hands on her shoulders like this, very lightly. And I go, hey, can you stop, please? Like, I'm not like shaking her. I'm just going like, hey, can you stop, please? And just pulls up the bear mace, blasts me in the face. Yeah, that sucked. And like the cops saw, or the cops were called because someone saw it happen, and the cops, they certainly didn't care about me. They was just like, I was like, can you please give me some milk or something? Like, it's something to neutralize this, call paramedic. And they're like, oh, if you want something, you can come down to the precinct. I was like, what precinct? And they're like, yo, you can find one. And they took off. Thanks, VPD. Our lovely, lovely police in this city. So that was like the biggest precursor, I think, in terms of the big incident that happened. Now, so I kind of stayed with her, even though I was like, I had so many doubts. I was constantly second guessing why I was with her, and not because she was a bad person, it's just because I had so much on my own plate, being homeless and all, and no prospects, and just being shitty drunk all the time. That's part of why I was shitty drunk all the time, was because I just couldn't put up with her energy, and I felt like I was having to care for her, yeah. So skip forward a couple months. It's my birthday, and my good buddy, decides to take us out for drinks. Sweet. We go to this rad bar, kind of like retro feel to it. The waitresses were really nice, and my buddy brought his girlfriend at the time, who was really nice, and we were all chatting, having a good time, except for my girl. She was acting weirder than usual. Like, just kind of, she'd say something that kind of made sense in the context of our discussion, and then kind of trail off. Yeah, so it's just, I could tell it was kind of weird in there right now. And so my buddy, after we're sufficiently hammered, I had many Boilermakers, he's like, let's go, do you wanna one for the road? And I was like, dude, I want 4 for the road. And he's like, okay, man, you want 4 for the road? Sure, I get it. So I got 4 shots of Jaeger. One by one, just. And, yeah, suffice to say, I do not remember the ride home. And I guess I got home and went to sleep, but I don't remember that. What I do remember is waking up with this insane pain in my back. I'm just going, "Wah!" And I rolled off the bed into the corner, and there's my girlfriend, and she's got this giant knife. Like, I've got this massive pain in my shoulder blade. Sorry, it's this shoulder blade. And it was kind of like this. It was like a big, it looked like a big boomerang, but it was this massive throwing knife. It was probably about as heavy as a light hatchet. It wasn't very sharp, thank God. But I mean, still, it was enough to do a lot of damage, which it did. And so she's naked with a knife, and she just kind of runs at me, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And she just starts slashing at me, and like, I've still got like the defensive wounds and shit on my arm. I don't know if you can see them there, but like, no. So I basically, for about, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes, just rolling from one corner of the room to the other. "What are you doing? What are you doing, you crazy bitch?" Like, I was screaming. I don't talk like that normally, but I was fucking in fight or flight. And so bewildered by the situation. By this person who was supposed to love me, we're supposed to cherish each other. That they had done this, and so eventually, like, I don't remember what happened exactly. I think my parents heard the noise and they came down and pulled her off me, and I was just bleeding everywhere. I had this big gash in my back. Police were called. I was sent to the hospital, and they're like, "Dude, you've got a massive wound in your back like that, and you're like this far from puncturing your lung." And I was like, "Holy crap, man!" And I was just so, like, my head was spinning, not just because I was hungover, but because I was unable to process the reality of this dire situation. Like, my world was burning. And so, yeah, they get me to the operating theater, and yeah, I was supposed to be given stitches, and they were like, "We're gonna need to give you something for the pain because you got the massive gash in your back and a couple big ones on your arm." And so they're like, "We're gonna give you some morphine." And I was like, "Dude, you can't give me morphine. I want Suboxone. I won't do anything." And they're like, "Yeah, I will." And they gave me morphine. I was just like, "Oh," passed out. When I woke up, one of the responding officers was there, and yeah, this man is like the only time I've had a positive experience with the BPD, because he went above and beyond to like make me feel supported here, and he stuck with me for I think like 8 hours or something in the hospital through the whole thing, and when I came to from the operating theater, I was asking, like, "Did that really happen? Did that really happen? Please tell me I was dreaming. Please tell me I was dreaming." I was in such denial about it. And he was like, "Yeah, it happened." And all of a sudden, I wasn't mad. I wasn't confused. I was just filled with this sullen sadness. Because I just had this image in my mind's eye of her in this, like, dark, damp prison cell, naked, confused, crying. And so I started crying because I was like, "Fuck, no, she has to go through this." And I was just, I don't know, maybe that's just my mind's way of not focusing on what happened to me. But this is how cool this cop was. He was like, "Buddy, do you need anything?" And by the way, this cop, like, he was just the most adorable guy. He was an older grandfather-looking figure, a little short, pudgy guy with a kind of white hair, crew cut, and the white mustache, and glasses. He looked adorable. Like if he had long hair, or I guess if he had a cap on and like a long beard, he would look like Santa. Um, but he was like, "Do you need it? Do you need it?" And I was like, "Oh, I really need a cigarette right now." And he was like, "1 second." And he goes out, comes back 5 minutes later, and he's got 4. And he just bummed cigarettes off random people, and I was so grateful for that. And yeah, so that was that. But that wasn't where it ended, because I knew she wasn't operating, with cognizance, with um, autonomy in her actions. She was acting according to whatever her mania um, was dictating in her behavior. And yeah, so uh, I chose not to press charges because for one, she got charged. She tried to smuggle a ton of mushrooms over the border, which was very stupid, and she got caught. She paid for it, so I didn't want to give her a real criminal record. Um, and I also, again, not in her right mind at the time. I was told that her psychosis convinced her into believing, or mania, whatever, very similar, um, and it convinced her that I, this entire time while dating, was actually a Hell's Angel proxy who, like an undercover agent or a sleeper agent, who was just waiting to kill her. And so that's why she attacked me while I was sleeping. Um, and yeah, so I didn't press charges, but here's the thing. The Crown did. So essentially, the government pressed charges, which I had no say in that. I didn't have to attend the court hearing, but I did have to spend a lot of time talking to like the prosecutor and various people involved with the case. And so, luckily she just did plead guilty. But the thing was, this took a very long period of time, and it completely fucked me up. Because, and also getting that morphine shot in the hospital while on Suboxone, passing out, made me realize, hey, pardon me, it is possible to still get high on Suboxone. So I started doing morphine and Dilaudid and stuff like that. And I got back into using, and it really fucked me up. And I told the prosecutor that. And so apparently, this girl, she heard about that, and she felt very bad. And she wrote me an apology letter and all that. Yeah, when all was said and done, I was homeless. I was re-addicted to opiates and having a hard time, really. It was a very dark chapter in my life. And like I couldn't grasp the reality that I had almost been killed by someone who I trusted almost more than anyone in the world at that point, because we'd spend every day together, pretty much. And yeah, so ultimately, yeah, she got, I think like 6 years probation or something. And she was, or it, she was, what am I looking for? I guess just ordered. She was ordered to, write an apology letter to me and all this. I don't think I even read it. I think I just threw it away. And yeah, that was a ghastly occurrence, and yeah, it was a trauma. It took me a long time to work through, but yeah, I'm glad to be alive. Glad that glad that her life wasn't completely ruined as a result of this too. I just hope she is taking care of her neurochemistry so that does not happen again to some other poor guy. Um, anyways, yeah, crazy story, right? Anyways, yeah. Synthetic and some spiritual sharing. We'll talk to you guys later. Via con diablos.